You will hear two students at the School of Friendship, Sandbar and Gallus, discussing their project on intercultural friendship with Professor Fluttershy.
Good morning, Sandbar, Gallus. I'm glad you could make it. You mentioned you were running into some difficulties with your group project?
Yes, Professor Fluttershy. We decided to focus on intercultural friendship practices across Equestria and beyond. It's a really engaging topic, but we're having trouble narrowing it down. The scope feels a bit too broad, to be honest.
Yeah, there's just so much we could include. Different species, different regions, even different ways of communicating. We're worried that if we try to cover too much, it'll end up sounding vague or disorganized.
That's a very reasonable concern. In cases like this, it's usually best to narrow your focus. How about selecting just 3 cultures to explore in depth? You consider, for instance, hippogriffs, yaks, and griffins. That would still allow for some diversity, but with better focus.
That sounds doable. We've already conducted a couple of interviews, one with Yona and one with Silverstream, so that fits quite well. But we weren't sure whether we should include some quantitative data as well, like survey results.
It really depends on what your main objective is. If you're aiming to explore personal experiences and perceptions, then qualitative methods like interviews are perfectly appropriate. But you complement that with a small-scale survey, maybe 5 to 10 questions focusing on attitudes toward cross-species friendships.
That could work. We were thinking of including a few simple rating scale questions, like how comfortable individuals feel interacting with creatures from other cultures. Nothing too complicated.
That would be a good balance. Just make sure the survey supports your main arguments and doesn't distract from them.
Got it. Another thing, we're also preparing a short presentation for the class. Should it follow the same structure as our written report, or are we allowed to be a bit more creative with it?
Creativity is definitely encouraged as long as you still meet the academic expectations. A narrative-style presentation could work really well. You might consider incorporating case studies or even direct quotes from your interviews. Visual aids, like maps or charts, can also help make your points clearer.
That actually sounds fun. We could include some drawings or photos representing the different species, traditions, and ways of showing friendship.
Yeah, and maybe even voice clips, if our interviewees are okay with it.
That would be fantastic. Just remember to get their consent, especially if you're using anything identifiable. Also keep in mind that both of you should be equally familiar with each section of the presentation, even if you divide the tasks.
Right. We've already kind of split the work. I'm more comfortable with field research and conducting interviews, while Sandbar prefers writing and editing.
That's a good strategy. Just make sure to stay in regular communication, and perhaps switch roles briefly during the final review so you both understand the whole picture.
Will do. Oh, and is there a specific word limit for the written report?
Yes, the final paper should be no more than 2,000 words, not including references or appendices. Please follow the School of Friendship citation style. It's quite similar to a peer format.
Got it. Thanks, Professor. This really helped clear things up.
I'm glad to hear that. Best of luck with your project, and don't forget, the submission deadline is next Friday up for P.
We'll make sure to have it ready. Thanks again.